Welcome back to Simply FRM. Today, we're diving into the Gauss Plus model. If you've studied the Vasicek model, you know it's a classic, but it has its limits. It's a bit too stiff for the complexities of modern markets. Think of the Gauss Plus model as the sophisticated, multi-factor upgrade. It doesn't just look at one interest rate, it looks at three interacting factors to give us a much more realistic picture of how interest rates actually behave in the real world. So, what's under the hood? The Gauss Plus model is built on three distinct components that represent different economic forces. First, we have the short-term rate. This is essentially the policy rate, like what you'd see controlled by the Federal Reserve. Next is the medium-term factor, MT, which reflects broader economic cycles and monetary policy shifts. Finally, there's the long-term factor, LT, which tracks long-run expectations like inflation and productivity growth. Instead of one rate moving in a vacuum, these three factors influence each other in a chain, reacting at different speeds to market news. This chain is mathematically defined by what we call cascading mean reversion. Let's look at the three core formulas that drive this process. In the short-term rate, notice that RT isn't pulling toward a fixed number. It is constantly trying to close the gap with the medium-term factor, MT. For the medium-term factor is chasing the long-term factor, LT. We also introduce volatility and correlation here through ρ. Finally, the long-term factor pulls toward a fixed constant, mu, which includes long-term risk premiums. It's a follow-the-leader system where everything eventually anchors to mu, but through a dynamic series of moving targets. Why go through all this trouble? Because the Gauss Plus model captures dynamics that simpler models miss. First, the cascading mean reversion we just discussed ensures that rates don't just snap back to an average, they evolve. Second, we have factor correlation. By using the parameter ρ, the model reflects how medium and long-term economic trends are linked. One of the coolest features is hump-shaped volatility. In the real world, volatility is usually low for very short and very long terms, but peaks in the middle. Gauss Plus can be calibrated to match this hump perfectly. Lastly, it provides pricing consistency, giving us the flexibility to price not just bonds, but complex derivatives like interest rate caps and floors. To wrap up, let's compare this to the Vasicek model. The Vasicek model is a single-factor model. It's simple, but because it only has one volatility parameter, it can only be consistent with one point on the interest rate curve. This makes it a poor tool for complex hedging. The Gauss Plus model, as a three-factor framework, changes the game. It gives us the flexibility to capture various yield curve shapes, whether they are upward sloping, inverted, or humped. It provides much higher historical alignment and is far more useful for risk management and macroeconomic analysis. In short, Gauss Plus is where simplicity meets reality.